So, so data provisioning, which means smart data access, smart data access, SDA. So smart data access, smartly, we can access the data from the other databases, not from this database, from other databases, either SAP, either non-SAP. We can smartly, we can pull the data. That is called the data provisioning. Smartly, we can provision the data from the other databases. That is called the smart databases. So some companies, some organizations, they don't have more HANA databases. They have only one centralized HANA database, but they have the SQL server, they have the Oracle, they have the DB2, they have the MaxDB, so they have the some other third-party databases they have. So non-HANA databases here. So non-HANA, these are the HANA, these all are the non-HANA. Like, so you have the SQL server, you have the Oracle, so you have the DB2, and so MaxDB, so Sybase. So you have the other databases are there, and you have the data in the other databases here, right? Let me take it here. So some big data. Okay, big data. So you have the HANA database is only one, but you have the non-HANA databases also available. If you want to replace all this data to the HANA, then here you need to install one more HANA. You can copy the data, database migration, database migration, database migration, database migration. So which means you need the license for the all the databases license you required. But currently I don't have that much of license. I have only budget for the one HANA databases. In that case, so and also the provisioning concept, the SDA concept is very important for the developers. They can merge the all the other databases data into HANA databases here. That is the concept, which means you can create the connection. You can create the connection from SQL server to HANA databases here, from this databases to here, and this databases to, you can create the connection, the smart data connections, remote connections to the all the databases. Just you can log into the HANA, you can access the all the databases data in the single point of access. That is called the smart data access. You no need to log into this database, this database, export it and merge it. So it's not required. Why? Because the developers, the modelers in the HANA modelers. So they require the merging of the two tables, three tables, company codes. They want to merge it, right? Why? Because here we have the some data, here we have the data, here transactional data, here we have the analytical data. They want to merge it. Then in this case, though they can log into this database, they have to log into this database, they have to export, and they have to do a lot of things here. But it is non-HANA database, thus it's very slow. It's very slowness here. So to avoid this kind of things here, HANA, we have the one functionality that is called the smart data access. You can just create the remote connection. You can smartly access the data from the other databases data without copying the data. You can access the remote systems data. You can access it here. Remote system data, you can access it here, right? So that is the main aim of this data provisioning concept. You can provision the data from the other databases without copying the data. You can access the other databases data. You can access it here. So how it is possible, right? Yes, it is possible using the smart data access concept, right? In that case, we need to create a connection. The main thing is here. So for the other databases, the respective the OD operating system level. Suppose if you take the OS level, their OS level, there is a ODBC, JDBC drivers we have to install it, right? If it is the Linux, then so Unix, Linux drivers, we have to install it. The connections, we have to create it here. But people will rarely use this connections. Why? Because if they want to go for the database, they will entire all the databases, they will change it. Why? Because each and every application is running, right? So that's that time you no need to go for so this data provisioning concept. Only rare cases we may get here. right? Why? Because it's required the driver should be installed at operating system level. Some connections we have to install it here, right? So in that case, here we have the provisioning concept here. Just you can right click here, you have can create the remote connections to the other databases here. Here you can create the remote connections to the other databases. Right click and click on the new remote source, right? So what are the things are possible here for the new remote sources here, right? So let's go to here. We'll get the one prompt here. Here you can see the, so you can connect to the Sybase, IQ, HANA, Hadoop, Oracle, SQL Server, DB2, and so some BigQuery, Big Data, Hadoop, DB2. So there are many adapters are there here, right? We can connect to the, we can pull the data, we can access the data from any one of the these databases here. Either HANA to HANA, you have the one HANA database, you can also connect to the HANA database. You have the Teradata, then you have the Sybase, you have the SQL server. You can also connect from the SQL server as well, right? The more things are there, you can also connect from the SQL. So suppose like we have the HANA, one database is there here, right? So that is called the, so KKK, there is a SID, right? So that is the SID. You can put anything here. That is called the KKK2 and HDB, the data provisioning here, right? So in the here, you can just provide the, so what is the server name here? What is the server name here? So SAP the Linux one, our Linux server name. What is the port number here for this database? So port number means, so here we need to check the, what is the instance number. It's a 28, 28. So which means 328. So here, so 15, the instance number 15. Okay. So what is the username? Technical user is the system user. The password is the our common password here, right? So then click on the, so deploy button, then one connection will be created here. If you click on the deploy button, one connection will be created here. So but details should be, we have to give it here. This is the HANA to HANA connectivity here. So one remote source is created, right? You can see the remote source is created here. So yeah, one remote source got created, but cannot create the current. There is a communication failure. Communication failure here. Why? Because still the database is not started. Database is not started more here. That's why it got failure. So that's the reason it's got communication failure. So we need to wait for till the database is started status here. In case of any issues, so then we may get the this type of issues here. All right, here we can provision the data from other databases. We can provision it here, right? So we can provision the other databases data. We can provision it from the systems. So that is what we can do it here. So right, see here. So I think we got the connection. So whatever the data is there in the database level, you can provision it from this database. You are in the HDB, you are accessing the KKK related data, you are accessing from here. You are accessing that database data you are accessing, which means you are smartly, without logging to the KKK, the database SID, then you are pulling from the data from this database here. You are pulling the data from here. So here you got all the schemas here, right? You got all the schemas and all the data we got it. You are pulling the data, all the data you are pulling here. So like that, we can also connect to the some other connections also here. Not only HANA to HANA, SQL Server to HANA, Oracle to HANA, Sybase to HANA. So, but only thing is that related database should be up and running. The database should be up and running here. Let's try to do for SQL Server, but that is on that different host. But there is some properties configuration files we have to create it. That's not possible now. Some HANA to HANA is only Teradata. We don't have Teradata, IQ database, Hadoop. So Spark, other databases we don't have. That is different. That is fine. That is, we can ignore it. Only thing is here, this which database you are connecting, you need to select that related data. You need to select it here. So here, gRPC destination. What is this? Yes, server name, port number, client certificates. Okay, this is a different again. BigQuery is one of the thing here. So that data source name, the server details we have to maintain. So we don't have any other details here except only HANA database we have currently running here. So then only HANA to HANA we created. That's fine. HANA to HANA we created. It started mode also. So then what we can do here, let me connect to the HANA database now. Which one? So
Sir, what is that ODBC?
Oracle database. This is the drivers actually. Drivers. Drivers means some extra functionalities. OS level, some drivers here. Drivers. So it will provide the some additional functionalities. That is called the JDBC means Java database connectivity. ODBC means the Oracle database connectivity. So like that. So these are the connectivities purpose. Some other external tools they want to connect to the external, they want to connect to the HANA database or Oracle database, SQL database. So your details should be connected to the via JDBC only, via driver, this driver only you are connecting here. Suppose if you want to listen the audio, you need to install the sound drivers, right? Graphics and sound drivers should be installed. Otherwise, you cannot listen the voice, right? Is it correct, right? In our laptop, if you want to listen audio, so then definitely the sound drivers or graphics cards or something we have to install it. The drivers we have to install. Same as like in the our servers also, if any other tools, other services, other applications wants to connect to this database, then the related drivers should be installed at operating system level. Then only we can able to connect it. Okay, that is the main thing here. So here 28, I think, multi-container, it's a database SAD is the KKK. So then system, then password. Okay, you created. So what we have some table data. Just assume I'm going to create the one small table here. So in the KKK database, then I can pull the data from the here in the HDB. I can pull it. Let's go to here. System.
Sir, Oracle database will store data in rows and columns, whereas HANA DB is stored in columnar database, right? So,
Yes.
is there any consequences while storing the data or pulling the data?
No, it's very speed. Pulling the data from the column store tables. So it is the very speed. It means quickly it will pick up the data from the table level. It will give the results. That's why HANA is the one of the fastest database. So there is no consequences. It's an advantage we have.
If some tables has to be merged with HANA database, from Oracle database to HANA database, then how that would be done? Most of the people are asking how you are merging. I mean, while upgradation to HANA DB from Oracle DB, what are the consequences you have faced and what are the changes you have observed? Like that, they are asking in the interview.
The row store tables will be converted into the column store tables here. Here, the tools, whatever the tools we are using for the migration or migrations, so those tools will silently, it will migrate the data, right? So using the pipe mode, the data will be migrated to the in the column store tables here. So tools will take care of that one. You are not going to pick up the data with your hand and you are placing into the some other database with your hand. So it's not so only the tools will do that one. So only thing is what changes we will observe is the row store, the business data will be moved to the column store tables. And so that is what we can observe it here. So here I am going to create the one table here, one column store tables. So here the name something like that, PH number. So then, suppose example I created. So one table I have created in the other database, other HANA database I created. So same like if you have the any other tables also, we can pull it out. That's not a problem here. So I have created one other table I have created here. It's done. Table is done. I have closed the connections also. Connection also I closed it here. This table data also, let me close this one as well here. Based on the connection test. Yes, remote connection system established. It's not only created, connection also established. Fine, let me close all those things. Let me delete this KKK as well. I don't want this one also here. You will get confused. Okay, everything I have deleted. So I'm a developer. I have a requirement to merge the one of the table data from other databases to here, right? In that case, I asked basis team to I asked the HANA admin team to perform the connection to the table, right? So without copying the data, we can perform it using the data provisioning topic here. Then you can go to the data provisioning. The guy, he is configured the connection to the one database here. One of the database, he created the remote connections here, right? So then after that, so we can go to the remote sources, whatever he connected here, right? So then I can go to, so that remote connection, whatever he connected, then I can go to which table, I can get the, where is the schema and table name. So why? Because tables are under schemas are under catalog, right? So here, then I can go to the catalog. Here I will get the list of schemas here, right? Suppose I created the table under the system, right? System user. The table name is called the jet training table I have created, right? It is fetching the data now. So it is fetching, this all are the data from the other databases here. This is I am fetching the data. Here I can add as a virtual table here. I can add as a virtual table here under the which schema. So you have the schema name is called the system schema. Which schema you want to assign, then you can assign that schema name. You can create it here. Which schema, that schema name you can select it. Then you can create as a virtual table. You can getting the schema name. It's already getting the schema name here, right? So a little bit. So which means the table is adding to your list, but the table is adding to virtual table we are creating. Virtual table you are creating means once you add the table into the here, then you can pull the data. No need to always go to the here, right click and pull that. Just to create the remote connection. Add that table as a virtual table. Virtual table means not the real table, not the physical table. Virtual means where it is the base table exists. Base table exists on the other databases. Then how the records are coming via this remote connection, via RFC destination, how the data will come to our system, same as like via this connection. So via this virtual table concept, data will come to in this list here, right? Data will come to in this list here. Here, then he can go to the here in the catalog in our database, HDB database. Then here we can go to the system schema. So in the system schema, you have the table, right? You have the table which you created as a jet training, right? Jet training table here. So the table will come to in this list here. So data will not be copied, but you can access the data. You can access the data. If the data is copied to the in this table, the memory footprint is higher, then the license also will be higher, right? So here what it will do, so it will data will come to the in this list here. Just you can just access the data. You can preview the data of, so that database data, you can preview it, you can watch it, you can see how many entries, you can also merge it, whatever you want to do. Developers will do all kind of things. We can do it here, all kind of things we can do it from in this case here. So this is what we called as the smartly we can access the other databases data from in this databases. Smart data access. Smartly you can access the other databases data.
So Ravi, when we create the virtual table, in that case, it won't consume the memory.
It won't consume the memory here in this database. Why? Because data will not be copied here. Just only you can access the data. The only thing is you can only just access the data. You can view the data, you can merge the data, you can do it, but data will not be copied here. Just you can see it. Just you can see that data here. So, but data will not be copied to the main memory. So if the 200 GB data is there, if the 200 GB data come to the here in this database, so then there is a memory, higher memory usage and everything, right? Only we can preview it. We can merge it. Those things you can see it. You can see just you are previewing here, right? Just you are previewing the data of this one here. Then you can do it. You can merge it. Whatever the developers want to, the developers will do the all kind of things here, right? So, but we can observe it here. What is the query? It is used for pulling the data from the here. You can grab the. You can go to the here smart data access, the administration page, smart data access. This is the connection creation. If you go to the smart data access tab, here, what is the statement it is using here? From what is the data source it is used? So how much time it's taken to pull the data from the in this data source here? So the connections monitoring here. So we can monitor it. So we can just monitor the connections. So all those things we can see it here. So it's connected here, system user. Then one statement you have executed, the driver details here. Yeah, by default Unix level drivers are installed. That's why it is using the ODBC. ODBC drivers are using here, right? So like that, we can just check the test here. System parameters. We can also configure from SQL Server other databases to here, but only thing is other databases should be installed. There is some data should be required. So then we can access those databases data also. We can access it here. That is also we can do it. So, but here currently we have the one HANA database is there. So only that HANA databases data we are accessing. Suppose if this database is down, what will happen? You cannot, the connection will be disconnected, right? So which means, so it's not copying the data. It just only virtually the data table is exist. You are just pulling the data from that database here. So if the database is down, your connections will be disconnected. You cannot preview, you cannot do anything in the database level here. This is only another small feature SAP introduced for. So if any other databases also there, don't worry. You can access those databases also from so using this smart data access remote sources, you can create it, you can access it. Why? Because developers are required here to create the privilege, to use the to development purpose. They required all those things for the merging the two tables, the sales table data, MRPs data, merging the some other two tables data. They required so this other table data also. So that is the reason. So we can use this concept. Now see if the remote connection is connected, so but it will be deactivated. But if you try to fetch the data, so but now we cannot fetch the data here because here in the schema we created the table. I executed the execute button, but system is stopping mode here. So, but the connection will be disconnected here. So see here is keep on refreshing. So means, so the source is not available here. The source is not available here. So if I use the data preview, right? So see here, communication link got failure here, connection failure. So connection refused means there is no connection to the database, right? So which means, so the data is pulling from here, here it is showing in the display mode, means it's not copying. If it is copied, the data is copied, then definitely it will show the data, right? It's not showing because of, so it is pulling the data. That's why virtual table concept. It's not the physical table, virtual table here. Virtual means, so it's virtually that the table is exist, but actually this table is coming from, so the one more SID is called the KKKK database here. So the communication got failure here, right? So that's what we may face the issues here, right? So that's why, so these connections are important here. So this is the, so smart data access related concept, okay, small concept. So coming to the